It is the first vlog of 2026. I don't even know if that was right, but as the first vlog of 2026, obviously the point of these vlogs are kind of to document my life and what happens in my life. But I think one thing I haven't done in a while is set goals. So this vlog isn't necessarily anything super crazy. I'm also recovering from being sick, so I don't know if that is something that's like noticeable, but I thought I was like cured because I actually caught whatever was happening, the flu or whatever. And then last night, I think because I like slept with a thin blanket, I recaught something. But anyways, I'm not feeling the greatest, and I'm actually feeling really lazy. I want to stay in bed all day, but I told myself today I was gonna do a couple things, which was make this vlog and go scout some memberships. So let's talk about my goals for 2026. In 2025, I didn't really make too many goals. For the most part, I just knew I was moving to New York City, so the main goal that I had wasn't to hit any specific numbers or do anything like that. It was kind of just to build my base in New York, and ultimately the goal was move to New York and try not to dip into my savings, which luckily I've done. And in 2025, I was able to move, not touch the savings, and also put money into savings. So I actually was able to make more than my means, which is amazing. But as of this year, this is almost like my second year in New York, and now it's time to level up. So within my goals, I have 5 types of goals. So it's gonna be broken down into career goals, health goals, financial goals, family and friend goals, and personal/individual goals. And you could say like health and financials, they're all kind of personal and individual, but I'm gonna segment them a little differently. So I actually have to go more in depth, but pretty much I have them all written out, and I'm just gonna kind of talk about them. So for career goals, this has always been like the main topic of every goal that I've done. I haven't had like, if anyone thinks of a normal goal, I feel like this is what you think of. They think of like the career goals, the money driven goals. And first one, I want to do more photography work. So obviously, as a camera person, I can do both photo and video, but I've noticed the past like 3 years since like doing this full time, I've gotten a lot more video work, and I think it's because I do video, so I get more video work. So if I do more photos, I get more photo work, but also I do think video work is easier to get. So that keeps food on the table, and I just want to put a little more emphasis on doing more photo shoots and stuff like that. Second one, I want to work, okay, this is kind of contradictory, but I want to work on a video set as a DP. So what that means is basically director of photography. You're on a video set, you basically create the image, and then they do whatever they do. So it's basically just making a really nice image with the lighting, the lens choice, and all that stuff. That one isn't super important, and I'll also rank the importance of these goals. I just want to also mention before I go any further, these goals aren't a priority like order, aren't in a particular order. I want to accomplish all of them throughout the year. Some within each like category will be more important, and some won't be as like important. And it's like, it'd be cool if I hit it. So after DPing on a video set, the next one I would love to do is have my work published on a billboard. So basically in New York City, with the whole photography licensing usage, I need to somehow find the client that has the budget to pay for usage or licensing and want to advertise on a billboard. Granted, a billboard's not like a for sure thing. Like I think it's more of like a gimmick nowadays. I think it'd be really cool if I worked on a project that I was really passionate about and it ended up being on Billboard. But on the same like on the flip side, a lot of times I'm not too passionate about like the work I do that becomes client work. So that is something I have to figure out. The next thing, and this is kind of like teeter-tottering within my career, it's to generate income and digital assets. So generate income digitally and create digital assets. And what that means is basically I want to really not have to be in person or at a specific location to generate money. I want to somehow, if it's $1 or $10, whatever it is, even $1,000 a month, if I can do that after like making something online and have that run forever, I think that would be really beneficial for the long term. It would basically allow me to take breaks without having to feel like I'm missing out. Because me personally, a lot of times I don't like to take trips because if I'm on a trip, I can't work. And if I can't work, obviously I can't make money. And to the same coin, like it's different if you work a corporate job, because if you have a corporate job, you come back to having work. And granted, I make this argument a lot. If you're good at your job, you will always have work. And I do think I'm good at my job, but there's less security or less safety net with being freelance. So that makes it a little harder, just because I've also had moments where I would go on a trip or I'd do another job or do something, and then like I've been hit up last minute. And granted, I can also reflect and say maybe those aren't the clients I want to work with and stuff like that. But anyways, I want to make money online without having to actually be at a specific location in person. And then the next one, this is something I've kind of like pulled back on since I think moving, is I want to reignite like a personal brand online and post more consistently on social media and not care too much, because I feel like in 2025 I really put posting on the back burner because obviously I had to like build and do other stuff. But I want to really solidify what I'm posting and make it a priority to post on social media and do stuff to build content for social media. So that is the career goals. The next one, and honestly all these goals are because of what happened in 2025. The next one is my health goals. So obviously, since moving, I've actually probably gained 20 pounds. So when I moved to New York, I was 185. I'm like 200 right now, so 15 pounds. How do you move to New York and then like gain weight? I don't fucking know. But I've also stopped going to the gym. Prior to moving to New York City, I feel like I kind of fell out of love with going to the gym, or kind of like would go to the gym, half-ass it, and leave. I would do what I need to do just to maintain, and that's fine, but I kind of want to change what I'm doing in the gym, or ultimately I want to go back to the gym, because I do care about my health, and I think it is important to be healthy. And also just seeing that with Aiden being born, Aiden is my nephew. If I were to get out of shape, it would be much more difficult to get into shape. And me being with Alina thinks about my future as like having a family. And if I have a kid, granted that's not going to happen anytime soon, but if I keep going down the path that I'm currently going down and keep gaining weight and keep being unfit, it's going to be much more difficult to keep up with having a kid. Versus if I was healthy and I had a kid, I could adjust a little easier. And just doing more athletic stuff, or being more athletic, being more healthy, is a lot more conscious in my head than it was last year. And then, so on top of that, within the health goals, really it's just to lean out, become more athletic. Because if you told me to run like a mile right now, I'd probably die. And I've kind of like, just gotten fatter. But I want to also become more mobile and limber. I forgot, this also pertains to playing with Aiden. When I was playing with Aiden, babies are on the floor. I hopped on the floor to play with Aiden, and it was like a struggle for me to move on the floor. versus back then it was a lot easier. I felt like a lot lighter, and yeah. But I'm basically 200 pounds. I don't have like a weight goal, but I would love to. I think based on how I would look, I would love to be like 180, and that would be a probably good area for me to like stay around, depending on if I lose or gain muscle. And then I also want to become more capable of playing sports and moving my body easily. So that kind of like, they all kind of like go together. And my reasoning is just like, sports are a lot more fun than lifting weights, truly. So if I can train to be more athletic, rather than whenever I was in Houston for the 2 years, I trained to be like more bulky and bodybuilder. I want to put on size. I think I've always kind of leaned more towards like an athletic build than like a huge bodybuilder build. And I think I kind of just living in Houston, being in the huge fitness scene, being around a bunch of bodybuilders, powerlifters, lifting a lot of heavy weights, you kind of get lost in like what everyone else is doing, and that is something that happened to me. And so I kind of built that kind of physique, and I kind of just want to readjust to what I want to really, what prioritizes or what really is important to me. Next one, financial goals. So financial goals are important. It's kind of like, it's just money. Money kind of like teeter-totters within the career. And I've kind of always had like this thing where the typical financial literacy, you want a retirement account, you want your savings account, you want all this stuff. I am lucky enough to, I guess, at a younger age to really research and become financially literate, or at least somewhat literate. And my big goal is to have over 100,000 in my savings, whether that's all of retirement, brokerage, savings, basically just whatever my baseline for my checking is. Everything else would be savings, whether that's all the other categories. And next would be to be a little more, so this kind of like contradicts it as well, but it's to be a little more free with spending on leisure and self-care. So I feel like I've always had this problem where I don't like to spend money if there is no ROI, But then I've also learned that there are different ROI. So for example, your health goals, right? So spending on a gym membership might be like in New York City particularly, it's like $200 to $300 a month, depending on where you go, obviously. But that $200 to $300 is essentially going to waste. But on a different like area of life, because you're being more healthier, you're spending less money on like doctors or medicine or stuff like that. So it kind of like teeters. But I guess also like when I say leisure, I mean like trips. I don't like to take trips, because trips, when I'm on a trip, I can't make money, and then I can't make money, I lose money. And then, I don't like to lose money. And I don't think anybody does, but I think it's okay. I'm starting to learn that it's okay to spend money on leisure stuff. And I think it helps reset to an extent. But I think I'm also in a very like unique position where like me spending money on my career is fun, but I do think it's like a different fun. So it's like, it's a weird position. And the last one is, this is mainly because of 2025, is spending less money eating out. So by eating out, I mean Uber Eats particularly. So between the month of November and now, like the end of November, so basically December to January, I spent about $400 on Uber Eats. And I can't imagine how much I've spent since moving here, just because I think it also ties into me being more lazy. I think just having the ability and the luxury of being able to afford and just buy whatever Uber Eats, wherever I am, makes me lazy. So it's just like, it is a luxury that I'm able to do that, but I want to kind of put that on pause, and then like whether I want to, don't have any food at home or need a quick bite, instead of Ubering it, I want to go out and get it, regardless of what it is. So I really want to pull back on spending on food delivery, and I don't mind eating out, But I think one thing I'm gonna do too is like if I eat out, I want to eat something healthy, regardless of what it is. And then this is something. So the next goal is family and friend goals. I don't have any written out. So if you know me, I am probably one of the least vulnerable people you could probably meet. I don't like kind of sharing my problems. I don't like sharing any issues that I'm going through, specifically as I'm going through it. I don't think I mind saying my issues once I've like overcome them, but I think it's very difficult for me to, I guess, be open about feelings and emotions. And typically, family and friends, that's where emotion tie in a lot of. So I'll get back to the family and friends goals maybe by the end of this video. But moving on to that one is personal individual goals. So personal individual goals, I don't really know what this like lies into, but what I have here is it's basically, so the personal individual goals are mainly just things that I enjoy. So I kind of put this down as a way to find out things that I enjoy, and things that I find fun that isn't work related. Because again, I am, I think, fortunate and in a unique position to where my work is fun, but then at the same, on the same like note or the same coin, whatever I'm trying to say, I think there is a different kind of fun between work fun and then like this shit doesn't matter fun, if that makes sense. So on that note, I have do things I enjoy solely for fun. That's kind of the whole purpose of this one. And I have that because I think if like I have an interest in something, I don't really do it unless I feel like there's a return. So for example, I kind of started this back in Houston. It was learn the piano. I bought a piano, I had some extra money, bought a piano, started learning it. But then obviously when I moved to New York, I had to like downsize. So I kind of put that on the back burner. And ironically, another thing that I kind of like piqued my interest was DJing. I think it would be cool to learn how to like mix and then just like pull that out of nowhere. And then I think on the same note, it's like potentially learning Vietnamese, learning my language. Things like that would be, in a sense, fun for me. That isn't really work related. And then on another thing, so on top of that, things that I already do that I feel are fun, that's not work related at all, is playing more tennis and pickleball. Mainly tennis, but pickleball is a close second. I do enjoy pickleball. I think it would be a nice segue into tennis because I think I die if I play tennis, but pickleball I can like manage. And then this kind of ties in with what I said earlier. It's trying things that I'm interested in without expectations. So like, I guess when I wrote this out, it's expectations for a return. So like DJing, I don't expect to have a return on a DJ. I think it'd just be something fun to do, and it'd be a nice like party trick or skill to have. And then the last thing on my personal individual goals are to vlog more. So I do enjoy vlogging, but at the same time, there is no return on vlogging except memories. And I think I kind of put a vlog on the back burner because it's semi-tied with work, and so I do have to edit. But I think if I just vlog more and have vlogs ready to be edited whenever I have free time, I can always like dish them out. So on that note, that is my 2026 goals. And we're not gonna end this off because we actually have to go kind of work on one of the goals right now. And because I was feeling sick, I really didn't want to, but we are about to go to about 2 to 3 gyms. So we're gonna go to Chelsea Piers, Lifetime, and potentially Equinox. I don't think we're going to go to Equinox just because I don't think I'm gonna go to Equinox. One is too expensive, but I'm basically gonna see which gyms kind of are a good fit for me. I think I'm really leaning towards Chelsea Piers, but basically all the gyms that I'm looking at have multiple locations within New York, so it makes it a little more, I guess, more easily accessible. But the gyms that I'm going to are like 2 stops away from where I live, and 2 to 1 stop away from where I live, and yeah, so we're gonna go check them out. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention in like the goals thing, one thing I want to focus on this year is something my friend Michael said. This is actually an influencer, Higher Up Wellness. Basically, his quote was to pick your hard. So the thing is, it's hard to be fat, it's hard to be lazy, but it's also hard to go to the gym. It's hard to be disciplined. It's hard to do all the other things. And you realistically just have to pick your hard, if that makes sense. So you can either decide to stay lazy, fat, and unproductive, and you can dwell in that, or you can decide to, you know, be tired, go to the gym, do that extra step for a client or something like that. And that is kind of what I'm gonna try to live by this year, is pick your hard. There's only 3 locations, right?
There's
4?
technically there's 5.
New member signing up, you get a gift.
What about yoga? Any interest in yoga?
Not really. Okay, so we just got finished touring the Chelsea Piers off Nevins. So this is I forgot which one this one is, but this one, nice gym. So I'm assuming all the individual Chelsea Pier location prices are gonna be the same. This one costs about $250 a month, pricey. That's about what I paid for a lifetime back in Texas. And then we're about to go check out. Oh,
Yeah, don't forget that. I told her wife forgot about that. You know she gone now. You know she gone.
we're about to go check out the lifetime location off Atlantic and see what that one looks like. And then after that one, we're gonna go back to the Chelsea Piers location, but the one that's closer to my house. And then we're gonna see which one works best for me. So New York installed new gates, and I haven't seen them before, but it's my first time. Look. How do you do this? Oh. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Okay, so obviously one of the biggest, I guess, things I have to think about when getting the gym membership is the facility itself, but also a couple things I have to keep in mind is the commute to the gym. So I've always had it pretty easy in terms of getting to the gym in Texas or anywhere else. And since moving to New York, obviously it's a little harder to get to the gyms because I don't have a car. I have to walk a little more, and just traveling is a little harder. But besides the facilities, the commute, and ease of like access to the gym. So with Lifetime is actually a little farther of a walk, I believe, from the station. It's technically one stop away from where I live, but the station is, I think, a little more of a trek versus the Chelsea Piers location is 2 stops away, and it's roughly 2 blocks from the station. And then I'll have to see what the last Chelsea Pier location is, but things I have to keep in mind: location, things around it, how long the gym's open, and then obviously the facility and amenities that the gym offers. So I briefly touched upon it earlier. The Chelsea Piers location, every individual one, or that specific individual location, costs about $250. If you want an all access pass, it's gonna cost, I think, $325, or it was $300. I'll have to double check. And then what I'm gonna weigh against it is with the Lifetime. So I believe with the Lifetime membership, depending on which tier Lifetime you're at, you have access to other tiers. And if I have essentially access to every single Lifetime in New York, and the cost of it is $350 flat, it might be better to do that. And then just to keep expenses kind of the same, I might have to cut my Versi membership. Okay, so we just got finished touring the Lifetime one. I didn't get a vlog too much, but so I was kind of wrong-ish. Basically, Chelsea Piers is about 320, 305 with all access locations. The lifetime membership, if I get lifetime, I basically have access to every single lifetime in New York and around the world, except for a few other ones that probably have tennis courts. And it is about 330, so I hate to say that, but that's not too bad, given access to every single location. And then on top of that, the facility is actually pretty nice. I think I like the facility, the lifetime facility, a little more than the Chelsea Piers. I just smelled someone fart. The Chelsea Piers location in earlier. I'm about to go check out the final potential gym, which is the next Chelsea Piers location, and see how that works out. Current standings, I think what's gonna happen is if I can cancel my Versi membership, I'll do that, because truthfully, people have been going to Versi without a membership, and I'm paying $200 for no reason, but I just don't utilize it enough to reap the benefits. So honestly, it's just like an expense that is not necessary for me. And so basically, I was looking to spend an additional $200 on top of that Versi membership if I could get a good deal on a gym. So if I cancel it, spend $3 something, I am increasing my expenses, but I will be making it lower than what I was willing to spend, if that makes sense. But we're about to go to Chelsea Piers, the one closest to the apartment, and see if that's better or worse than these previous two gyms.
And Express 5 train to Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn College. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge.
I haven't done this in a while, but I got on the wrong side of the train. So basically, I was supposed to take the red line to go back home, one stop off at Bergen's, but I went the opposite direction towards Manhattan, and I'm back at Nevins. So I'm technically going to the wrong Chelsea Piers location. Cool. Okay, so we just finished going through every single gym. Chelsea Piers downtown, Chelsea Piers off Bergen, Prospect Heights, and then Chelsea, and then the Lifetime. Basically, I think I already have my answer for which gym I'm going to, and I think it's gonna be Lifetime. Reason being, so all Chelsea Piers, I believe it's $250 or $230 if you want just sole access to that facility. And Lifetime, regardless of the facility, it's $320. I think it's $330. And if I wanted full access to all Chelsea Piers, which there's like 4 in New York, but realistically I would only go to like 2, which is the ones closest to me. That would cost like $305, so nothing super crazy. But I think the problem is that the one in Prospect Heights, the Chelsea Piers location there, is low-key a trek to go to. So it's not very convenient in terms of the commute, which I kind of value. And then Lifetime being more expensive, actually very easy commute. I said it earlier, but once I was leaving, super easy to get to. And then on top of that, I can get access to every single other Lifetime in New York. So if I ever wanted to play pickleball, I can always go to a Lifetime facility that has it. And then the only other thing is that Chelsea Piers doesn't have any amenities like that. So if I'm obviously trying to play more tennis, play more pickleball, whatever it is, just be more athletic, it's a little hard to do that for Chelsea Piers and play a sport. So I think all in all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can cancel my Versi membership and then just get the Lifetime membership and call it a day. And then hopefully I can lock in the pricing, because then Lifetime's locked in at $230 or $320, $329, $330. and we'll be good to go. But now we are actually just walking back home. Believe it or not, doing all this moving, I'm still a little sick, and I am actually out of breath from seeing all these gyms. But we're going home. We're gonna walk home, try to get this sickness out of me and just like recover, I guess. We're back home. Basically, that is the end of this vlog. It was just kind of a way of me putting my goals out there. I tend to not like to tell people my goals because it gives an expectation, and sometimes when you tell people your goals and you don't accomplish them, it's a little embarrassing. So this is just me kind of tracking my goals for 2026 and so on and so forth. I actually just found out I can't cancel my Versi membership because I'm actually locked into a year at a monthly price point. So I might be adding $350 or $330 to my monthly expenses for the foreseeable future so I can get back into the gym. But that's it for today. We're going to vlog a little more often. We're going to try to accomplish all these goals throughout the year. We're going to dive in a little deeper today and really break down how I'm going to accomplish these goals and move forward from that.